So, guys, this is a podcast where we tell you everything according to us. Spirituality, conspiracy theories, and story times that make you feel less alone and more appreciated. This is us. Back on the topic of dreams. Do you ever have dreams that come true? Or, like, what do you think?
Yes.
Okay, I do too, but not many.
Not as much anymore. I used to a lot as a kid. I think I would do it
Tell
a
me
lot.
about that.
I feel like I would do it a lot more as I continue to break down like traumas and things, and get better at control. Okay, so
Dreams coming true.
I feel like dream prophecy, I guess is the word. I hate it because prophecy sounds so religious, but it's just the word. I feel like it's one of the things that I have. I think it's because of my parents, because they both have it. So
Definitely.
I think it's very weird if I wouldn't. I think that I definitely need to deal with different things so I can get back to doing it how I used to as a kid. But I'm having about random things, not always important things. But I remember one of the first times was when we got Sparky, that dog. We used to have. I had the dream, but I thought that in the dream, I thought we adopted a little boy. Because in my dream, my sister was on the front seat, my mom was driving, I was in the middle, in the back. And we were like, oh, what should we name our little boy? We're going to pick up our little boy, da-da-da. And in my dream, I just assumed it was like a doctor. It's so weird. When we were on the way to go get Sparky, my mom started going, oh, what should we name the little boy? And I said, Mom, stop. I was like, what? And I looked at Brittany, and she did the exact thing in my dream. And I remember like, what the fuck? That was the first time where I was like, that's really weird. And I found out it was called deja vu. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Whatever. I didn't really think anything of it. Well, then it started happening more frequently after the first time. And I did for years. Like, I remember I used to, golf with my grandpa when I was younger. And I remember one time I went to go golf. And we were on the way. And we were going to go golf with, like, one of his, like, friends and, like, his kids or something. And I told him, I was like, I had a dream last night. And he was like, what was your dream? On the way there. And I was like, I had a dream that you got a hole in one. And my grandpa kind of laughed about it. He got a hole in one that day. And when he got the hole in one, he turned and looked at me. And I remember him saying, your dream came true. And I was like, they keep doing that. They kept, like, little things like that just kept happening. And I was just like, this is so weird. Like, I always just thought it was, like, cool. But, like, I never really understood it. And then I really feel like they kind of dwindled out because I started having a lot of religious trauma. Because there was always, like, the prophecy dream. And it was always, like, the type of way they talked about it at church really didn't make me want that. Because it was always, like, if you're having a prophecy dream, you need to talk to them about God. And, like, no, sometimes you just saw some shit. Like,
the fact that your father really was, like, had multiple dreams about Brittany dying
me too.
Young and was like, you're gonna die young, and told her that.
My dad told me
you had dreams about her dying, or he had...
I used to have dreams that she got eaten by a shark when I was really little, because she watched Jaws, but I didn't have dreams that she actually, like, died when I got older.
So it's like you have some dreams that are just weird like that.
Some are influenced, yeah. Well, because I like to believe that the dream realm, you're either traveling to another timeline, to another reality, or you're getting a letter from your subconscious mind. So I feel like a lot of your dreams are your subconscious mind talking to you. So you're supposed to listen to them. And so I feel like if you do listen to them, when I get dreams that I feel like my subconscious mind is listening to me, I really pay attention. I wake up in the morning, I try to really analyze it and I break it down. And I feel like that's why I lucid dream so much, because I try to get, whenever I'm presented with, here's your test, I'm like, let me hit this as fast as possible, get back to my fun time. And like, just go. But I don't know, it's true. Like, I definitely have had, like, dreams that are irrelevant and things that are just, like, fear-based. I've had, like, my fears I don't want to address in real life.
Hate that.
Projecting dreams.
Yeah.
Piss me off.
They're aggravating. I'm not afraid of snakes, but this one time, and I don't know why I remember this dream to this day, it was just so prominent. It was like imagine, like, acid cat with all the colors and drippy and all that stuff. Well, I was in, like, that cartoon type of room. And there was, like, all of this, like, liquid flowing around. It was kind of like lava, but it wasn't lava, because I could fall in it, and there were snakes swimming around it, and there were just snakes everywhere. And I don't know, I was so scared by that dream. But now I felt like 20 snakes, and always loved snakes. So I was very confused by that. That was the one snake dream that actually scared me and freaked me out. But
I had
totally not realistic.
My fear of snakes started when I was a wee little child. And it wasn't because of a real snake. This is so funny to me. I don't know if I've ever actually said this or not. But when I was little, me and Bree used to have a room and share a room. And so when we go to sleep, oftentimes I ended up sneaking out and going into my grandparents' room and sleeping in their bed. And it was because I would have like really vivid nightmares, really vivid dreams that freaked me out. Or I would like hallucinate. So when I get really tired, in hindsight, probably because I needed glasses. And when I got tired, my vision got blurrier than it already was. And so they would have this like crack in the door, and I'd see the light on the wall. But when I would be laying in bed and I would look over, it would look like I was never, for years, this tormented me. It looked like little snakes going like this up the walls, and it would freak me the fuck out as a kid. And it was like so fucking long it did that, where every time I looked, I just saw these little snakes, and it used to freak me the fuck out so bad.
That's hilarious. Like, essentially
like now I'm just like, it's probably just because like my vision got worse as I was getting tired, and my vision already wasn't that good, and I just didn't know, and it was like creeping out as a kid. Like,
is that considered like a hallucination when you just like simply can't see because you're blind and it's like blurry? Like, is that,
I guess like as a nurse I should know the medical definition. The reason why I consider everything a hallucination, to be fair. Because everything is. Like, everything you see is hallucinated because it's an image that isn't really there. So if you see something that isn't really there, it is a hallucination to me. So I saw snakes and it was just a light on the wall, so my brain says that's a hallucination. But I don't know if that's actually considered a hallucination.
Right.
Because of like,
it was the actual terminology.
I don't know if it's
of it.
I don't know if the cause for the hallucination determines if it's hallucination or not.
Okay.
Because, like, the cause is vision and not, like, the mind playing. So, trying to play something on me.
And I feel like hallucinations probably got more to do with the mind playing tricks. But maybe not. Who knows?
There's hallucination. Well, I think it's hallucination because I feel like if it's that way, then that would mean the hallucinations are only negative. And hallucinations medically are only considered negative things. People have positive hallucinations.
Right.
So, if it's the mind playing tricks on you, my mind was playing tricks on me. Just not for a bad way.
Hallucination. Yeah. So you hallucinated some snakes and made yourself scared of them.
Yep.
Fair. I'm glad we conquered that.
Yeah, I just took a little acid. Honestly, not much. Just that little bit. It was like a fourth.
Acid will change your life.
It really did.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know who I was for it. It's weird. I definitely understand why I got to the point I got, because, like, ew. Girl, I was not living a fun life.
Yeah, me either. I don't like thinking about the triggered, unhealed person that I was a few years ago, but also I like have to have so much empathy and compassion for her because she carried me all of this way and got me through all of that shit and all of the defense mechanisms and personality traits that are really trauma responses. All of that stuff I built up is what it was, is a defense mechanism. And like,
yeah.
So at the same time, like, that version of myself makes me cringe really hard because it's like, ew, girl, what were you doing? But also at the same time, I turn around and I'm like, thank you. Because I know that shit wasn't easy. Like, that was hard to go through. That was hard to live through. And thank you for getting me through that.
Yeah, I do thank those versions of me. I feel like
this is why you had to die. I'm sorry.
Like, I jokingly like cringe at like old me, but I don't ever cringe. I don't actually like truly feel cringy about old me. I feel very sad.
Okay, yeah.
Me. It's like I'm projecting it as being
cringe.
It's projecting as cringe because I don't want to admit how sad I am for the old me.
The goddamn emotion feelings chart.
It's like I know that like the real core of it is that I'm just sad. Like, because I went through a lot of emotions. At first, I was very mad. And I was like,
you're angry about what happened to you.
And then I was mad because I was just like, if I would have realized this sooner, I did this to myself. I could have fixed this before this moment. So I was so mad for so long at myself, my old version of me, for just settling for what it was and not pushing to try to figure out something better. And I was just like, well, yeah, but like she had to grow and she eventually got to that point, but like she had to reach that breaking point to get to this like point. It's like I used to like beat
myself up. You gotta hit that rock bottom.
Yeah.
So it's like everything has to get so shitty until you're like,
yes, you kind of reach your breaking point.
Yeah.
Everyone's breaking point is different. Some people, they barely got a breaking point.
Mine was very different from yours. I didn't have like a pivotal moment like that. Really. No full breakdown. Because I feel like I'm too sensitive to have something like that, honestly.
Honestly, the only reason why it happened was because that was the moment that Saige was born. Saige was created in the DID system at that moment because Kirsten was going to go up. So it was a defense mechanism. So whenever Saige came forward, it was like, I need y'all to bring me to a hospital. I don't trust myself to drive home. I need y'all to take me because I was trying to stop myself. So I realized with my therapist now, we broke down and it was like, that's why. Cause he was like, you never even I never showed them. Yeah, I was like, I never showed people. I was upset. No one knew anything at work. I was like the super positive one that got all the work done. I mean, no one had
any literally idea. Just from those conversations.
Yeah, it's like no one had any idea about anything. And then one day I'm just like, I need to bring me to the hospital. I need help. And they're like, what is going on? And it literally was because at the time I didn't understand what was going on, but that was why because I had that switch because I was like, why was I so weird? And why was my head so weird? I didn't know what was going on. When I got to the psych hospital, I remember just being my first memory as Saige is like that. So I didn't have memories before that. And I built it as we try to be more co-conscious. But Saige's memories start there. So they were very weird memories of being totally isolated in this hospital and being and trying to figure out how to navigate the game.
Right.
And it is very weird.
I can't even imagine how crazy it is to have DID and have a new personality person form in your brain as you go into the psych hospital because that personality was born to protect all of the other ones from unaliving themselves.
And so this is really weird. And then you go back to work, and I remember I showed you the other day, I'd written at the psych hospital. I used to write journal entries to myself, to try to document stuff. And I know there's different ones I've had at the house, and I remember one that the diary entry was me saying it was basically right before I got laid off, right before I think part of me knew I was going to end up quitting the career, was because I had written down that the problem was that I was in a career that I didn't do. I didn't go to school for this. I didn't agree to do this. And that was the issue, that I'm the new host. I'm supposed to do this, but this isn't me. I didn't go to nursing school. I don't understand what I'm supposed to be doing here. I can do what we're supposed to do, but I don't know all this intimate knowledge. I didn't want to become a nurse. I have no interest in being a nurse.
And at that point, Kirsten was just hiding the fuck away.
Kirsten was kind of shut off from the system. We kind of shut off from the system for a while.
She needed a break.
Yeah. It was a really big breaking point. So it was we kind of had this really weird thing where it was okay, that breaking point happened. Kirsten went away. Kirsten wasn't back into the system until some point in 2020 when I started working with her. So it was this weird gap of what is going on, and just being hey, we're not in the career anymore.
Right.
I know you didn't ever really want to do it, but you did kind of parts of it, and just telling you now we're not doing that anymore. And it was really weird in that way.
I can imagine so.
But also, I feel it would be really boring to not have DID. So, that's what I was
because you have the different personalities, but I have a TV screen in my head.
Yeah, that's fair.
So. But a TV screen that's constantly scripted by my consciousness and subconscious.
I don't know who I was telling this to, but I feel I was just telling someone the other day that maybe it was yesterday, that I feel because I can't I think I was over here with y'all, I was saying because I can't visualize, I feel that's how my mental area, how it kind of was created the way that it was, because I can't visualize. So I heavily depend on dialogue. So It's not really shocking to me that my brain can't see, can only hear dialogue. Oh, and now there's multiple identities. Yeah,
it's having one narrator. The
entire story.
So you wanted different narrators.
Yeah, it was dude, this is boring now. I've read this book for so long.
DID makes life interesting.
Yeah, that's what I feel I'm there's a lot of pros and cons to everything, but I definitely get the positives and everything. So I feel a superpower.
Yeah.
I'm just learning how to control. It's when you get your superpower in the movies and you're I have superpowers now. And then you like sneeze and it starts shooting off. You're like, wait, that's not what I meant. And you're like learning how to control it. That's where I'm at. Like, it's a lot easier for me to like control who's kind of like driving. But like, there's still like, as I said, I can't control. Like, I just kind of like have to roll with it. And sometimes it makes it frustrating. Like, if it's like an alter that's like present and I can't switch, I'm like, this isn't gonna work because you're not gonna do what I want. This is not. He's like, yeah, we have a to-do list. Like, some of them, like, he'll literally look and just be like, nah, I'm not doing that. Like, one of my alters, like, he's like, I'm not doing that. Like, he'll look at the to-do list and literally draw a line through all the, like, boxes and be like, not doing them. And I'm like,
stubborn ass.
I'm like, motherfucker. Come back, I'm like, okay.
That really must be. So, like, how accurate... Have you seen the movie Split? Oh, damn it.
I haven't, and the reason why I
want to ask you how accurate
I'll have to watch it.
DID.
I'll have to watch it, but I know from people I've heard that, like, a lot of people with DID are very mad at the movie from how it depicts it, but I haven't seen it to give my insight. Because also the thing about DID I always say is, like,
definitely
everyone has their own... Yeah, like, I say the thing is, like, everyone forgets that no one's the exact same. So a lot of us might have DID. You might be like, oh, I got DID, but none of us have the exact same DID. There's different spectrums, so different how it presents is differently, but it's still the same base thing.
And I'm sure it's different in men as it is.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of
other
different things. So it's like I don't really know like how the movie projects it to know like if it's really like just like trying to like, because there are movies that like demonize DID, you know, people with DID, like they're all just switch in and they're evil creatures that just kill people, don't give a fuck. Those movies piss me off because they are very demonizing to and they're very like disrespectful for like, well, they don't talk about like the negatives. Like I always talk about the positives with it, but there's a lot of negatives to it. So it's frustrating in movies when they only show the like, it's a superpower. It's like, yeah, it is, but bro, you better talk about the other
negatives, right?
They don't act like it's just easy for us.
I can see that, and I can see how people would get mad at Split because
didn't he like do like
spoiler? Well, the whole basis of the movie, he kidnapped these girls.
Yeah, I was like, I can see why people felt like it was demonizing.
Yeah, I think it was a couple of girls, but yeah, so like one of his alters was, you know, a kidnapper, whatever, and. I don't know.
Well, I will argue one comment with that because there are people that are like I've said, you know, very angry at the movie. I haven't watched it, so I can't get my view. But I can say that as someone with DID, I was writing a book about a character with DID, and one of his alters did kill people. So
I really want to read that.
And that is from someone with a DID mind, like, and it wasn't like it's not like I don't know how Split projects it, so I don't know if it's exactly the same. You know how it worked. You know. Compared to like how I was writing like my dude, but like he did have an alter that was doing bad things, and it was like, but it was the whole point of my book. Like I feel like it's also an intention because I don't know how they were trying to show him a movie. Like my book was trying to show him that like he was mentally ill, and that he could get better person. He was doing things for the right reason. He wasn't trying to be a bad guy. I don't know how they were depicting Split. They were just like he's evil and loves it.
No, so, like I don't know. Some of his alters, like there was this one alter that's a woman, and she like talks very gentle, and she like was taking care of the girls and would give them advice. And then one was like a 7 or 8 year old child, and he would just wanted to play games with them. So like some alters were really nice and were trying to help the girls, but they were aware of the other alters. Like he comes out like the beast when he comes out, like. That alter is just like animalistic. And
well, I would say most, I don't know how his whole thing was, but I do know like on the basis of DID that most people with DID have like the deemed like protector,
which is usually the quote unquote evil one.
Yeah, they're usually the quote unquote evil one, because they're very ego. They're very selfish because they need to protect you. So they are the one that doesn't care about anyone but you.
But you.
You're the only thing that matters to them because that's their role because you needed that when they were created.
Right.
So, like, there are definitely times, like, there's many times where, like, I was, like, me and, like, Sam were getting something, like, heated, like, and I've told him, like, before where I'm like, we have to stop, like, because I can feel
a switch.
Like, I can feel the switch coming and, like, we know we don't want him in this conversation.
Oh, shit.
And, like, because we know how that's
not going to be nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like stuff like that, like having to try to like as I've gotten better, like I try to get better, like trying to like catch it and like pause, like because there are certain like sometimes an emotional statement like Kirsten comes out and it's very frustrating because she's very emotional and bitchy.
Emotional and bitchy, really?
Yeah, it's wild. I would have never expected that from her, but
sounds like former me.
Yeah, it's so crazy. But they're definitely like literally like the other day I was like, we can't talk, we can't. Like, 'cause I feel myself, like I feel it, and I know that like the difference between like I always say like my mean alters, aka the people that come out when I'm in situations where I need like someone to defend me, is either going to be Damien, who is very like he's really like fuck everyone else, I don't give a fuck about anything except for like feeling good, us being okay. Kirsty comes out, she's very like screaming, frustrated, shaking, and so I'm like, neither of you are helping the situation. Like I understand that at one point you were. It's like I understand at one point you were, but you're not anymore. Like you're actually making it worse.
Yep. I see. Like when I get triggered and I just get into this like rage where it's like, I don't know, I kind of just see red.
I was like, Sam said that he'll say he sees red.
No, so dude, it's like, oh my god!
Like, is it red? Like literally when your eyes are open or when they're closed, you see red. Like, what do you mean?
It's not so much as like a visual thing as it is like an expression of like, all I want to do is mutilate and kill people because I'm so angry. I can feel my blood boiling inside of my body. And I tried to explain this to Brittany. I was like, you don't get it. You try to tell me all these things to calm down when I'm at that level of anger.
You
literally don't understand because you've never felt this level of anger that I'm feeling right now. Like I've never seen her get mad in any capacity when I'm talking about like my like top level 100% rage and like, but it really is like triggered unhealed parts of me because like that's not me anymore. I know that's not me, but like I'll have certain reactions like that, and like it's almost as if I can't help it. It's almost feels impossible to like control when I'm at that level because
the emotions are so
like
strong,
I just feel crazy,
like automatic ego.
Yeah, and that's when I'll like break down crying. But I'm crying, but I'm also so infuriated and angry that there's just like so many feelings going on. I don't know. It sucks. It's not a fun thing to deal with. And like I really relate to Sam with that because like
I've been newly trying to understand how to process and feel anger because I never processed it the way like I think that's meant to. I would always channel it into tears only. And I feel like I turned it into sadness. I would never experience anger. That's difficult. I don't really get how to like.
Well, because you weren't allowed to as a kid.
Yeah, and so like I feel
you were
like
taught that was wrong when it's not wrong. It's wrong, quote unquote wrong, to experience anger in a unhealthy, explosive
like there's
manner.
An explosive way that like hurts you and others, and there's just experiencing being angry. You're supposed to feel full spectrum emotions. Sorry, I'm still caught up on the fact that the autism was so real, and the fact that I literally thought that y'all were being literal when y'all said y'all saw red. I cannot believe that was a metaphor this whole time. I am 26 years old, and I thought people literally saw red when they got angry. I was like, does it tint red like you're wearing red glasses?
I mean, sometimes it can, like, but it's not really.
I thought
I don't actually see red.
I thought vision, it looked like you had red glasses on all of a sudden. That's how I thought y'all. I thought that's what people meant when they were like, I'm seeing red. I always was like, damn, we need to get them out of this situation.
No, have you ever been like so just focused on something that literally nothing else in the world could break your attention on that?
Yeah.
That's how it feels when I'm in that state of anger and rage. And I just want to start like dropping bodies. And I'm like, I don't want to hurt people. I'm just, the feeling of energy inside me just needs to get the fuck out. And that's why I've started somatic healing. I think that's
the like dancing stuff. Yeah,
man, get that shit out. I'll put on a song and I don't give a fuck how stupid I look. I will be dancing.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to do that.
Yep. It's very healing, very therapeutic. I was dancing before you got here.
Yeah, dancing has been something that's been nice. When I get angry, I'm still learning, but as of right now, this is usually what happens. and then I punch the pillow.
That's good. It can definitely help, but you also have to have a situation or like a method. Or what if you aren't? Yeah. What if you can't punch a pillow?
Well, I usually because then
it's training your body to hit something.
Well, that's why I don't know. This is usually what happens. I'm like.
Brittany likes to kick.
I just shake and I'm like angry and then.
But the shaking is getting that energy
out.
Yes,
and Sam's like, you need to get the energy out, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know what to do. And he's like, okay. And so then usually he's like, punch that pillow, and I'm like, no, I can't punch the pillow. And he's like, punch the pillow, and I'm like, it won't do anything. He's like, punch the pillow, and then after a lot of because then I'm like shaking so long, he's like, just do it. It will help you faster. You were going on for so long, and I'm like, okay. And last time I hit it. And I sat there for a second, and then I just went,
yes, I did that a week or two ago.
I was like, this was powerful.
Yes, I was so angry. I can't remember what. I think I was journaling, and it was I had a whole big spiritual release regarding being hit as a child in the form of punishment. So I was super angry about that. That was not okay. That was not any way to teach a child. So I'm just Donkey Kong fisting onto the fucking pillow on the bed.
Like that.
But I literally did not have enough energy in me afterwards to feel that anger anymore. I was so tired after hitting the pillow and doing that the energy was physically not inside of me anymore. And I was like, okay, I can breathe and I can think about something.
I hit it until the point. Usually I get angry, and then when I'm coming down from the anger, I get pouty. And I'm like, I do that a lot. And then
that's hilarious.
Yeah, Sam was like, okay, pal. He's like, you feel better, pal? He's like, okay.
That's too good.
I'll huff. I'll stomp my foot like a bunny.
Oh my God.
When I'm mad.
Thumping the foot.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
It works sometimes.
You gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. Well, I think that's
how long are we even at?
I think that's it for today. So, thank you guys for joining us on today's episode. We hope you enjoyed our talk about dreams and everything else that we talked about. And we hope to see you guys next week. Love and light.